So the strategies here are what we call the post-after map. What we're calling thriving strategies. The issue is reduce or eliminate current and future income taxes, asset protection, and provide a means for future estate and generation skipping tax. So we have new solutions for the new rules, recipes for the new income tax solution using old and new ingredients. So I have for you the cookbook. The idea of recipes is this. In this very community, there's a restaurant called the Clean Family Restaurant. People know that. And for a period of time, there's a kind of fancy restaurant, kind of a shopping center way across Chambridge Road that is what's called Bistro Vin. And you know something I noticed? I noticed that the delivery truck goes to both restaurants. And since the delivery truck goes to both restaurants, they both get bread and milk and eggs and sugar and fish and milk and all those products. They all go to the same places. Right? It's how they put those things together that's the big key, right? It's how they do it that's different. The recipes at the kind of the one with the finer dining experience is how they put it together, different things, different tastes, different things, maybe different skills, maybe a little more time, but whatever it is, it's worth more. And what we want to do is think about putting together recipes that are now more tasty and more useful and more applicable to clients under their current set of circumstances. So let's look at our legal ingredients. We still have revocable trust. We have irrevocable trust in every flavor you can imagine. Insurance trust, dry trust, trust for holding, standalone trust for holding IRA assets after someone dies, intentional grantor trust for asset protection, Q-tip trust or the inter vivos Q-tip trust or ones that are post-mortem, family partnerships and LLCs, and retirement plans. Those are kind of the ingredients there. And some financial recipes, we have life insurance, which of course have single life or survivorship or second to die type policies. We have design options. This is what the question came up earlier. I mean, we have low premium and high death benefit, or high premium and low death benefit, meaning high cash value. Do I have single premium, or there are places even with modified endowment contracts? Right? When and how would those come in place? Again, a time-telling thing. This isn't really how the watch is made, but we're going to talk about this. So life insurance come again in their own flavors, cash value. We have universal life, which is guaranteed or not guaranteed. Variable universal life, also non-guaranteed, sometimes guaranteed. Equity index can be guaranteed or not. We have whole life policies, standard cash value policies, and of course term policies. We have annuities. Here again, I think so many people really don't have a real conception of how good or bad annuities can be. It's really the right tool for the right job. I've heard people say, you should never have an annuity inside of an IRA, whereas I've seen a lot of opportunities where annuities inside of IRAs made a lot of sense. Deferred annuities. The ones we should have inside of IRAs are probably single premium annuities. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the problem with the deferred annuities, they have surprise income tax results. You know, all the money coming out of an IRA, out of a deferred annuity has to be paid out within 5 years. Has to be paid out within 5 years, unless it's annuitized over the life of the beneficiary, which most people don't necessarily wish. But it's got to come out within 5 years, and it has to come out life only. So if I delayed the full 5 years, or I took 1/5 from each of the 5 years, I would still be paying the big income tax hit every year until I got through all of that growth. It is a terrible asset to die owning, because giving it away to somebody is giving away one of those ticking time bombs. It's a terrible asset to pass on. It may be a terrific asset to save money or to invest money for certain guarantees, but it's the right tool for the right job. Immediate annuities, single premiums, and we have different flavors of immediate annuities, life only, and the longer term of life, or life, and we have or multiple life. So this is strategy number 1. Annuitize an IRA. Remember I said earlier, your IRA is your worst asset to give away, because giving it away to somebody is passing on that tax time bomb. If somebody saved $1 million in IRA, someone's going to get $1 million with the tax liability attached to it. You can stretch it out, you can, do all sorts of things with it, but it's only going to be worth what it is minus the income tax in the hands of the recipient. And I can use the perhaps lower tax bracket, or at least not a higher tax bracket, for the current IRA annuity owner if he or she wishes to make a legacy distribution to either a spouse, or a child, or a grandchild. And I can do that by buying within the annuity a single premium annuity. So I have an immediate annuity. And I'm going to use those annuity purchases to pay an income tax due. I'm going to then, because I'm going to make a distribution, and then I'm going to use the balance, or a portion of the balance, to buy a life insurance policy inside of an ILIT, inside of a life insurance trust, to provide asset protection, creditor protection, divorce protection, estate tax free, and I can possibly increase my standard of living. So here's the example. I have an IRA. I've used it to purchase an annuity inside of the IRA. That is now going to make a distribution of that income to the owner of that IRA, who is going to make a contribution to the IRA. And then, of course, this ultimately, at that person's passing, the money is going to move on to heirs. Income tax-free, estate tax-free, creditor protected, divorce protected, more than I can do with an IRA, or certainly better than I can do with an IRA. So the advantage is I can get like a pension-like performance. We'll see an example of this in a minute. I can get a guaranteed income. A lot of people, what they want is guaranteed income. I've seen studies where people have had Joe and Jack who live next door to each other, and Jack has an annual income coming in for a pension, where that pension is going to end when he does. Let's make it simple. He's a single guy. And his friend Jack has a lot of money in an IRA, but he's jealous of his neighbor because his neighbor has a guarantee. Well, the one with the lot of money, either in cash or in the form of an IRA, can convert that cash into a pension. He can become like his neighbor. Now, the net result of that is that there's often not going to be money remaining. He can't get it for cash, but his neighbor couldn't get it for cash either. But now, for somebody who doesn't actually, quote, need the money, and I'm trying to provide a benefit for my spouse that's tax-free, I'm trying to provide a benefit for my child that's tax-free. And in this community where you have a lot of people who are on federal pensions, where the pension is going to be down by 55%, they don't need the money in the thrift plan of the IRA right now, but their spouse will need it later. But yet when the spouse takes it, it's going to be income tax. So we can convert that. We can eliminate the income tax to the heirs on these inherited assets. It eliminates all estate tax, and it can also eliminate generation skipping tax for a couple within an IRA. And I can get a guaranteed death benefit beyond the age of 100. So I can couple my guarantee of death benefit with my guaranteed lifetime income. It, of course, depends upon insurability, and, of course, the bottom line here is the IRA, or some of it, is committed for income tax generation. I've turned it into a pension. So here's an example. We have an existing plan of death, and this is the income tax drag. It could be that tax, a little more, a little higher. Remember, this is going to be on top of whatever income the beneficiary has, right? Required annual minimum distribution. So it's always going to be reduced by some level of tax. So $1 million becomes $700,000. It becomes $600,000. In an estate tax environment, where I have an IRA where there's an estate tax of 40%, then I take out the income tax. Now only $300,000 goes to beneficiaries. I mentioned that client earlier where there's only 12% or so going to his beneficiaries because of the state estate tax and the state income tax. Whereas if I take the IRA annuitized plan, I guarantee $1 million within the ILIT going to family members in both examples. So not $700,000 but $1 million, not $300,000 but $1 million, and you cannot run these tax avoidance. Let me show you the example. This is a real example. We did this one not that long ago. IRA owner, age 70, healthy male, non-smoker. His IRA value was $1 million. His tax rate was 30%. His annual annuity payment coming from a $1 million IRA, reported as part of it, is $75,000 a year. $75,000 of cash flow coming to him. The income tax, 30%, is $22,000. The insurance premium was approximately $25,000, leaving $27,000 of after-tax income after having replaced that IRA. Right? So he still has spendable money after tax, approaching 3%, which is more than he's getting on the CDs or whatever he has invested in now. And it's giving him this better overall result for family. A variation is to annuitize the cash or bonds. Right? A lot of people have money in CDs and cash, are afraid to move it out. Those are the people that have been whacked twice on investment in securities. Maybe they never invest in securities. Maybe they never will invest in securities. But all of a sudden, they can use their CD or bond money, any kind of guaranteed assets, to purchase an annuity, and creates a self-funded, tax-favored pension-type return, pension-type income. and we can use the annuity income once again to pay the income tax due. And the income tax is much reduced because there's this thing called an exclusion. That the money coming out is my money, I already paid taxes on it, and at least through my life expectancy, I don't have to pay the income tax on very much of that coming out. The insurance premiums for enhanced wealth transfers, we're going to pay that, and I've substantially increased the cash value for living. And of course, we're going to put that inside of a life insurance trust. So once again, cash buying annuity produces income for the owner, putting a contribution now into an irrevocable life insurance trust, which is now providing a benefit for the beneficiaries of it. And here is a real example. This happened, I mentioned my 80-year-old. This is basically the numbers that he was dealing with. He was a healthy male, $1 million, tax rate of 30%. His annual annuity payment, and interest rates right now are fairly low, this would be higher as things went on, was $113,000. That's cash flow, that's not income, right? Because we're getting some of our money back. All of a sudden, the taxable portion is only $15,000. And I put over together the word, really? You know, only $15,000 is even taxable? Yes, because it's my own money coming back. And because my money coming back, the total tax on this was less than $5,000. Total tax on $113,000 of cash flow. So it gives me a lot of money with which I can buy life insurance. If I just bought a life insurance policy at age 1, on an 80-year-old at $1 million, it's basically $55,000. And I mean, different policy might be more or less, but that's in the range. It still had net annual income of $53,000 and change. That's after tax. More than he's getting on a CD, more than he's getting in close. So.